Bismillah walhamdulillah wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
The topic for tonight, it's a bit of a confusing one. Okay, the reason why we're doing this today is just changing kind of a schedule. Normally we go through, which book do we normally go through on Friday nights? Shama'il Muhammadiyya, exactly. So a normal book, and we are going to carry on with that inshallah next Friday, definitely inshallah. And the only reason we're going through this today is the topic is the Qur'an as a source of knowledge. The Qur'an as a source of knowledge. So I've just delivered this same workshop in, I think, about 4 times now in the last week. And just today I delivered exactly the same workshop in Green Day Masjid. So I thought, you know what, it's very beneficial. We'll carry on with this inshallah, and just as a change, just for today inshallah, we'll go through the same topic here as well inshallah. So, Qur'an as a source of knowledge. In Islam, we have 4 sources of knowledge. 4 means you can say we can go through. What are those 4 things we go through as sources or means of knowledge, of to practice our Islam, practice our Sharia. First one is Qur'an. Second one, Sunnah, exactly. Third one, Ijma', exactly. And fourth one, Qiyas, exactly. I'm not going to go into too much technicality what all those 4 are, because if we do, our whole night is going to go in the description of those 4 things. So today we're going to be just sticking through the first one, Qur'an as a source of knowledge, right? So, this book that was revealed 1400 years ago, just a few things for us to know, inshallah. So the Qur'an, according to majority of the scholars, and take it from the ahadith as well, the way it was revealed, right? So, firstly, it was revealed in its entirety. Okay, even before it was revealed, where I'm going to get to, before that it was where was it written before even coming down? Lawhul Mahfuz, exactly, in the preserved tablet is there, alright? So, after that, in its entirety, it came down on the lowest heaven, according to the majority of the scholars. And then after that, it started to come down in small portions, as it did over how many years on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Everyone was whispering, they're saying the right answer, but that was... Talk to me, guys and sisters. How many years did it take for the Qur'an to come down? 23 years, exactly. 23. Started from what age of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Age of 40, exactly. That's when it started. And what was which was the first surah to come down? Iqra, that's the first ayah. What's the name of the surah? Surah Al-Alaq. How many verses came down on that first night? Not 3. How many verses came down on that first night? It wasn't the entire surah that came down. It was 5 verses. The first 5 verses that came down. Now, Quraysh had a problem with that. What problem did they have? They said, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was to send the message down, why didn't He send it down in its entirety? Why would He send it down in small portions like this? He would have sent it down in its full entirety. The Qur'an would have come down. This is the book, here it is, follow it. Why did it come down like that? Now, that's the problem they had, right? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Surah Al-Furqan. In Surah Al-Furqan, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in verse number 32. So, why does Quraysh had this problem with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they said this to him, right? Now, obviously it was very kind of a new thing for them, even though the way Islam came down from the time of Ibrahim alayhi salam, the Kaaba was built, Tawheed was there, and everything, how everything innovations and everything came in, idolatry came in, and then it got to where it got to at that time. Even though they used to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but still their practices were just gone, like totally off. They were, for example, they were even practicing the practice of Hajar alayhi salam, right? Running from the Safa Marwa, that The tawaf even they were practicing as well at that time, before the coming of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But how did they used to practice tawaf? Naked, exactly. And that was, that was their way of practicing, following Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They believed in Allah, but the way they practiced the religion of Ibrahim alayhi salam, it was totally changed. Now, if someone intentionally wants to be ignorant, wants to intentionally just look for problems, they'll find any problem anyway, out of anything. And of course, that's what the Quraysh were doing at that time, going to Prophet Muhammad saying, "Oh, why did the Qur'an come down in its full entirety?" Now, if you think about it, they were having problems not even accepting a few verses at a time. What if the Qur'an did come down in its entirety? They would have had a problem from the other side, then, wouldn't they? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answers them still in this verse. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says to them, كَذَلِكَ لِنُثَبِّتَ بِهِ. Like, He revealed this Qur'an to you in portions so you could be steadfast. Now that response is for the Quraysh, is even for Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, and it's even for us as well in our time right now. Jazakallah khair. I needed that. Jazakallah khair. So it was a message for everyone, right? Now, that was a response to them, of course, at that time, that if you were complaining about why is the Qur'an coming down in small portions, if it came down in the reason that's been given to them. Now, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't just get them told off by Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but He's given them a reason. He said the Qur'an is coming down so you could actually ponder over the ayahs, the verses, the portions that are coming down, and you could be steadfast. That was the reason why it came down like that. Now, like I said, this ayah was also for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam as well in this Qur'an. So his heart could also be steadfast. Now, like I said as well, it's for us as well, because the Qur'an didn't come down only for the people of that time. Obviously, we all know this as well. But wallahi, it's happened to so many people that you couldn't open the Qur'an from any way. If you read the translation, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would be talking to you in that as well. You could get your answers from that as well. Now, but many times what happened in the Qur'an was many verses or sometimes even surahs come down for Prophet Muhammad to comfort him, right? So sometimes there could be something going on in his life, either to comfort him or to give him an answer for something. Let's see if someone can give me an example. Something's happening from the entire seerah, think about it, something's happening in the seerah, and because of that incident, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the Qur'an as an answer for him. Give me anything. When his wife? And what was in the Qur'an for him there? The night journey. That was an incident that happened after the year of sorrow. Yes. But I want the Qur'an portion. Someone tell me what happened in the Qur'an. Yeah? Surah Kafirun. Yes. Okay, that's one. Yeah. Give me more. When did it come down? Why did it come down?
The disbelievers were challenging him, asking him, they were saying that if they would follow him for 1 year.
Yes.
He had to follow them for 1 year.
Yes.
Then the angel revealed to him, "Qul ya ayyuhal kafirun, say to them, O disbelievers, I will not worship what you worship, and for
Exactly. Yes, that's right. Jazakallah khair. 100%. So he told them there's no part-time Islam. Like you practice your religion portion of time, we'll practice our religion portion of time. No. It's just Islam. That's it. We can't say you practice yours and we practice ours. No. So Surah Kafirun, that was one of them as well. Who knows which surah came down after the incident of Taif, the hardest and toughest time of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Which surah in its entirety, one of very few surahs that came down. Which surah came down after the incident of Taif? La. Very famous surah. Everyone knows this. La. 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 Any sisters? Which surah came down after the incident of Taif? La. It's a surah with the name of a prophet. With the name of a prophet. La. One more last chance. La. Surah Al-Anbiya, all of the prophets. MashaAllah, I like that. I love that one. Yeah, you partially got it wrong, MashaAllah. No, it was Surah Yusuf. Surah Yusuf came down when the people of Taif, denied his message, denied him, and they even sent children on him to stone him. He was bleeding so much. Aisha radiallahu anha, she asked him, was the battle of Uhud that day the toughest for you? He said, no, Taif. That was the toughest day. And then after that, to comfort him, Surah Yusuf come down in its entirety. Now, who knows which surah, the first maybe page or something of a surah, come down for one of his wives to protect the honor of our mother. Aisha radiallahu anha, exactly. Which surah? Surah An-Nur, exactly, one of the sisters said it. The first portion, when the slander of Aisha radiallahu anha happened, that surah, the first portion of that came down to protect the honor of Aisha radiallahu anha. There were many incidents. There were many incidents. But again, this Qur'an is for us as well. We can pick it up in our time and we can actually see the Qur'an is for us as well. We'll get our answers as well. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, now look at this though, our topic tonight, right? The Qur'an being a source of knowledge. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah Al-Hashr, like, what is this Qur'an? Think about that sometimes. What is this Qur'an? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us in Surah Al-Hashr, in verse number 21, He says that if He sent down this Qur'an on the mountains, they will shake and crumble and they would turn into dust. They wouldn't be able to handle it. But the man took it on. Prophet Muhammad took it on. We took it on. And how did that strength come into our hearts to be able to handle that? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given us that strength to handle that strength, to keep the Qur'an in our hearts. But Prophet Muhammad was given that task. Now what is this Qur'an? Again, we mentioned this before, I'm repeating the same thing again. Anything that the Qur'an touches, look what it turns into. The prophet that the Qur'an came down on turned out to be the best of all the prophets. The night that it came down on turned out to be the night of power. The month that it comes on, it turns out to be the month of mercy. The angels who reveal the Qur'an, they turn out to be the angels of, the best of angels, Jibreel alayhi salam. Anything the Qur'an touches, it turns into just blessing, the best of everything it just turns into. So, hence we are told as well in our life, like one of our Shaykh Haytham al-Haddad, he says, start reading Qur'an every single day. This is advice for myself first. I don't want to be a hypocrite, just telling you not doing myself. Advice for myself first. Recite Qur'an every single day, make it part of your life. Your life will just turn 180. It will just turn one. You'll just see how your problems just disappear. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to recite Qur'an every single day and make it part of our life. But then again, even physically, it was really heavy as well. The revelation. Who can give me an example? Who knows what I'm talking about? The Qur'an was physically, the revelation was physically very, very heavy. Who knows what I'm talking about? Anyone?
Did he sweat when he was receiving the revelation?
Say that again first,
was the Prophet sweating?
Exactly. Even in really cold weather, he would just sweat so much. Zayd ibn Harith, he's once sitting down, just like the brothers in the back, right? With their legs crossed. Prophet saw him sitting next to Zayd ibn Harith, right? With his legs crossed. But his leg is on top of his leg. And revelation started to come down. Zayd ibn Harith said, his leg turned so heavy. He said, Wallahi, I thought my leg was going to bust. Like it was just going to rip apart. His leg became so heavy. Once, Surah An'am, I think it was Surah An'am, portion of that was coming down. And Prophet Muhammad was on a camel at that time. And the camel's knee, he just buckled. And out of mercy for the animal, Prophet Muhammad got off that camel because he knew what was happening. Subhanallah. It was physically very, very heavy as well on Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now the companions, they actually asked him this, that how does the Qur'an gets revealed on you? And look at his answer. Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam says, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wills, He speaks to me. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala desires, His words come to me as a revelation. A really loud noise comes from the heavens. Now subhanAllah, look at this in detail. I'm going to give you this hadith, right? Really loud noise comes from the heavens, and it's like chains are being pulled through the mountains of Safa. Really loud, like metal chains are being pulled through the mountains of Safa. The angels of the heavens are taken by it. What does that mean? You'll get to know. The angels of the heavens are overtaken by it. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks to Jibreel directly from the heavens. And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala finishes revealing the Qur'an to Jibreel alayhi salam, the angels regain themselves. And as Jibreel starts to descend, the angels come to him, to Jibreel alayhi salam, they surround him and they ask him, مَاذَا قَالَ رَبُّكَ? What did your Lord say to you? And Jibreel alayhi salam, he responds, Al-Haqqu, Al-Haqqu, وَهُوَ عَلِيٌّ كَبِيرٌ. He spoke the truth, he spoke the truth, and he is the most high, the most great. Prophet Muhammad said, all of the angels after hearing this, they started to say, Al-Haqqu, Al-Haqqu, وَهُوَ الْعَلِيُّ الْكَبِيرُ. Now subhanAllah, and Jibreel alayhi salam then would descend to Prophet Muhammad and then would give the revelation to him. That was one of the ways a revelation comes. The other ways was in his dreams. Sometimes the revelation come that even after the prophecy was given to him, revelation will still sometimes come in his dreams. Another way was directly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to him. Who can give me one of the examples? Which very famous ayahs were given to him directly, and we all know this. Which portion of Surah Baqarah? The last two ayahs. The last two ayahs of Surah Baqarah were given to him directly, without even Jibreel alayhi salam in the middle. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala spoke to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam directly. Now, Surah An'am, that was a surah that when it came down, it has 160 verses. When it came down almost in its entirety. 160 verses. 70,000 angels were accompanying Jibreel alayhi salam when it came down. And subhanAllah, that's the power of the Qur'an, and we only not even touching the surface of it. But now, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the Qur'an started coming to him at the age of 40. What was happening for the first 40 years? His character was being built by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He chose the best of mankind, best of all of the prophets. He was loved by everyone, He was trusted by everyone, and his character was the most beautiful character because he was to be the example for the rest of mankind, even for the prophets. Now the prophets are going to come now after him as well, but from before. Isa alayhi salam, he's going to follow Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, right? How many books, let's see now, how many books are mentioned in the Qur'an, revealed by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How many books are mentioned in the Qur'an by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that were revealed? No, not 3.
4.
Not 4.
5.
No.
6.
You can say 20 like that.
7.
Give me the name of the 4 books, the 4 most famous ones. Qur'an, Injil, Torah, Zabur. Exactly. Those are 4, right? Give me 2 more. That whose name is given as the exactly same name. Suhuf. Exactly. Suhuf of Musa and Ibrahim. Musa alayhi salam and Ibrahim alayhi salam. There's some of the prophets who the books are given to, but they're not mentioned by the name, but just Suhuf of the prophets. So how many books were actually revealed to the prophets from Adam alayhi salam to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? How many books were revealed? Your sisters can shout out. How many books were revealed from Adam alayhi salam's time to the end? No, not 6.
10.
Only Allah knows. Exactly, that's the right answer. Jazakallah khair for not letting anyone waste our time. Only Allah knows, because we don't know. We don't know. 600 mentioned 120 or so many thousand prophets. We don't know how many books have been revealed. But, look at this important point over here, right? 4 books. As we mentioned, I think we did mention this earlier as well, that Muhammad ﷺ is in the masjid, Umar bin Khattab is in the masjid, and he has found a book, Torah, and he's reading Torah, the book of Musa alayhi salam. And Prophet Muhammad ﷺ sees him reading something, right? And he says to him, what are you reading, Ya Umar? And he says, I'm reading the Torah, the book of your brother. And Prophet ﷺ got so angry. He got so angry and upset with him. You could see the expressions on his face. He got really angry. Why? He said, I swear by the one in whose hands is my soul. If Musa was here today, he would not read his book. He would follow the Qur'an. SubhanAllah. Everything from all of the books before that needs to be passed on is in the Qur'an. Nothing beneficial has been hidden from us. So everything that we need to know, everything, you know what, wallahi, that's why we should be so proud of our Islam, of us being Muslims, of us being from the Ummah of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? We should. And Al-Hasan al-Basri, he actually said this. He said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed more than 100 books. More than 100 books through his prophets. And he compiled all of the knowledge that was to be passed on into the 4 books. The 4 books that we mentioned, right? And then, from them, he deposited the knowledge of the 3 into the Qur'an. So everything beneficial from all of those books was given to us in the Qur'an. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he says in Surah An-Nahl, he says in Surah An-Nahl, now look at this, subhanAllah, وَنَزَّلْنَا عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابَ تِبْيَانًا لِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ. We send down the book to you which makes everything clear, as an explanation of all things, a guide, a mercy, and good news for those who follow and submit, who fully submit. Everything a man needs to know is in the Qur'an. Now, the Sunnah, of course, what is Sunnah? But it explains the Qur'an. And we have to know this. I'm stating the obvious again. You can't just believe in the Qur'an and that's it. Because there are people who believe fully into the Qur'an and nothing else, and they are disbelievers. Who are they? The what? What's their name? The Qur'aniyuns. The Qur'aniyun. They don't believe the Sunnah. They say just the Qur'an. We follow just the Qur'an. Everything that we need to know is in the Qur'an. And they deny the Hadith. Like, Ati Wallah wa Ati Rasul. How many times has Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the Qur'an? Follow the Prophet, follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Listen to only them two. They are the ones, only one who could legislate. So you can't have Qur'an just by itself. If it was to be the case, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to pray in the Qur'an, but the breakdown of prayer, how many, like, does it say anywhere in the Qur'an you have to do 4 fard for Isha, or 3 fard for Maghrib, or 2 sunnah and 2 fard for Fajr? The benefit of praying the 12 extra sunnahs in the day. Does it say anywhere in the Qur'an? No, it doesn't. Hajj is ordered in the Qur'an, but how do we perform Hajj? It comes from the sunnah, it comes from the hadith. So nothing, you can't take anything like, just it's in the Qur'an and I'm going to take it from that and khalas. No, we don't. We take it from Qur'an and Sunnah. They go hand in hand. And don't want to go too technical with this as well. The Qur'an needs hadith more than the hadith needs the Qur'an. Because hadith is explaining the Qur'an. The Qur'an is there. Hadith is explaining the Qur'an. So the Qur'an needs the hadith in that way. Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us to follow, to listen to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Qur'an, right? Now this is one of the things, if you go to any scholar, hence we call it the source of knowledge, first source of knowledge is the Qur'an. Any scholar you go to, if you started to think either yourself or your child, you want to make them from a student of knowledge. You want them to go to, inshallah, in future Jamia Islamia, Islamic University, become like an imam, alim, or whatever, sheikh, or a scholar. If you go to a scholar for advice, first thing every scholar would say to you is, start from the Qur'an. Start from the Qur'an. That is where the knowledge begins from. It begins from the Qur'an. And memorizing the Qur'an. That's where it begins from. Now, just a quick thing here, inshallah, right? The 7 different recitations that came down. And how did that happen? How did that happen? And this is also told to us in the hadith as well. Prophet ﷺ, he said that Jibreel alayhi salam, he would come to me and he would ask me to recite the Qur'an in the recitation that he had been revealed to me. So Jibreel alayhi salam is ordering him to recite. And he said, and I would recite. And he would say, and he said, Jibreel would be on my right side, Prophet Muhammad saying, and Mikael would be on my left side. Mikael alayhi salam, he would be on my left side, and they both would come. Now Jibreel alayhi salam is getting him to recite, and Mikael will say to Jibreel alayhi salam, Istazidhu, Istazidhu, increase him, increase him. And then Jibreel alayhi salam would give me the next recitation. And then Prophet ﷺ would recite in a different recitation. When he would do that, and then again he would say to him, Istazidhu, and he would change him again. Change him 7 times. He got him to recite in all these 7 different recitations. And that's how those 7 different recitations, they actually come from Prophet Muhammad ﷺ as well. Now, even though Jibreel alayhi salam was coming to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ as a person as well many times, as we say, revelation didn't stop coming into his dreams. And what was it called? Like, what happened for, or does anyone know for how long did the messages from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not the Qur'an revelation, but the messages from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala come to Prophet Muhammad ﷺ before prophecy? There was a portion of time. In dreams, he would be given some messages directly from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Anything he would see in his dreams, it would happen the next day. And it happened for a portion of time. Who knows what that portion of time was? How long that time was? No, not some hours. I'll give you a hint. 1/46th of his prophecy. 1/46th of his prophecy. How long was his prophecy?
23.
23 years, right? What's 23 times 2? 46, right? 1/46th of those 23 years, what would it be? I don't know. MashaAllah. What would it be? Come on, I've broken down the maths for you guys. Huh? La. So 23 years, right? Times 2, how many? 46. Now, what is 46 in 23 years? 6 months. Sisters are, mashallah, on fire. Mashallah. 6 months, guys. Come on, sisters' maths is much better from you guys. So 6 months was a portion of time that was given before prophecy come to him. Anything he would see in his dreams, it would happen the next day. Okay? So that was the time that was given to him. Now, something happened, subhanAllah. Now, another thing that happened in his dreams, another beautiful thing happened in his dreams, that Prophet ﷺ was taken on a journey in his dream once, and he was actually shown his own home. His own home, his own house in Jannah. Prophet ﷺ was shown. But first, before his house, he was shown the house of who? Who else knows? Umar bin Khattab. Umar bin Khattab. So he saw his house and he saw how beautiful house that was. And he asked Jibreel alayhi salam, he said, whose house is that? He said, that's Umar bin Khattab. And he says, I'm not going to go into that house because I know how protective Umar is. He didn't go into his house. But then later on, he was shown his own house, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And of course, he's on the highest levels of Jannah, right? So when he was shown his house, what does he say to Jibreel alayhi salam? He says, Du'ani idkhulu manzili. He says, leave me here. Let me go inside. I don't want to go back. Subhanallah. When Prophet, come on, think about it, guys. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he's going to be given the highest level of Jannah. When he sees that, he actually got to see that level. We can't imagine it ever in our lives, subhanAllah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to be the neighbors of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive our sins and allow us to practice Islam the way it needs to be practiced. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to make Qur'an our best friend as well, and recite that more as well. And we need to be reciting that in like translation as well, in our own language as well. I'll wrap it up here, otherwise I can go on and on, inshallah. Hopefully this has been beneficial, and it's going to increase our love for the Qur'an in our hearts, and it's going to increase the love for Qur'an in our children's hearts as well. Jazakumullah khair. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, wa astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum.